Hello people of YouTube, my name is Brad, this is my channel Animate Orange, and welcome to another ICONX build video. I'm not going to be able to say ICONX for too much longer. They're transitioning over to premium series, but this is kind of an older model. We're going to work on the Hummer today. Again, this is a bit of an older ICONX model, but it was a request, so I've put it together. As you can see here, we have the finished model, but what did it take to get to this point? Well, let's go over to the table, open up the package, see what's inside, and see what we're in for. Let's open up this Humvee and see what's inside this older style. Oh, whoops. It's not how I meant to open it, but okay. What we have in this older style, I can kind of see what it's like in there now. Instructions are in a separate pocket. Okay, 2 pieces of paper for the instructions, and looks like 2 metal sheets taped on, typical. Alright, got the tape off. We have definitely 2 pieces or 2 sheets of ICONX size metal. So let's put this to the side and bring out the instructions. I'm going to go over these ever so briefly, just in case this is one of your first models. I'm not going to spend too much time on the instructions, but I'll cover them quickly. Alright, we're going to start with the first sheet here that has the ICONX logo on it. Kind of talk about that. Oh, look. And we have a little taped on gun barrel here. If I can get that off. Model parts. So this is the barrel to something. Probably the gun on the front. We're going to put that to the side. And we're going to start up in the top corner here. The ICONX logo, the Metal Earth logo. We've got the 2 metal sheets kind of drawn out. Numbers listed. This is a bit of an older instructions, I guess, where there's no duplicate parts. Yeah, that's got to be duplicate parts. Nothing is colored in, so this is a little older than I thought it was. So very plain and simple. The parts are numbered. Some of these are not. I mean, this is fairly obviously part of the wheel, so this is 20. You're going to have to guess that those are 20 as well. We don't have the color coordination with the newer models, but should be able to figure that out. Moving over here, we've got line drawing of the model. I'm guessing that's a QR code you can scan to get a 360 view, or just go to this website right here at the top. Then we have a legend over here, the sample part with the notational tabs, slots, and fold lines. Fold lines are pre-scored areas where the part's folded. Tabs ultimately go into slots and that's how things are connected. The legend down here, we've got you got a E and a bubble. That's usually pointing, or should be pointing, at the engraved side or section. It's not always the entire side that's engraved. It might just be a piece of it. NE is pointing at the non-engraved side or section, usually the back side of a part, though. Got to be careful with that. Attention point, if you see that, it's usually telling you to align certain things together. Occasionally it'll come with instructions on what you should be paying attention to. And the classic blue circle and green triangle. Blue circle, you see that by a connection point, means to insert a tab and fold it over 90 degrees. Green triangle is insert the tab and twist it 90 degrees. Twisted tabs are more secure, but folded tabs look cleaner. Assembly tip, if needed, slightly twist tabs to hold parts together, then untwist and bend them down for a nice finish. And I've done that plenty of times where you have a shaky part with a lot of connections. Get some connections started and lightly twist them until the thing is more secure and together. Then you can go back and untwist and fold them over. And then we've got some tools. We're going to talk about tools here in just a moment. Below that starts the assembly steps. And in the ICONX or premium models, they actually have steps that are kind of separated out. It's very much the same flow as a Metal Earth model, but just the steps. Sometimes the steps are called back later. So step 1, we've got part 1. Find that over here and clip it out, or find that on the metal sheets and clip it out. Part 2. Part 1 is kind of folded like this. You can see this curved arrow. The sides are curved down. This hood has got a curve to it. Doesn't really indicate that that's angled at mostly a right angle, but you get the idea. This is angled and curved down. And there's some notation back here, which will probably make more sense when I get to it. The part 2, the sides are shaped down. You see the slight red tinting, and that's tapped there. Though it doesn't indicate with twisted or folded tabs. So probably folded, but maybe twisted. Huh. No blue circle or green triangle there, so it's a bit disappointing. Step 2, we've got part 3 that folds like that. There's the model piece that comes in, their numbers, the model piece. That slides through, or you can see there, it's sliding through. You got that part. We flip over to page 3. We've got step 3. There's part 4. The kind of pinkish reddish part is highlighted to show that shaped. More shaping here, more shaping here. We add in the barrel from step 2 here, and here's part 5 here. These connect together with twisted tabs, all of this here, and we end up with this part tipped to put a drop of glue here to hold the barrow straight forward. Maybe they meant to say barrel. Anyway, that's the gist of it. You just go step by step, adding in the parts and shaping and folding things. This honestly isn't as clear with some of the shaping as I'm used to, but it's an older piece of instruction, so it may require some interpretation, but good news, I'm going to be here building this with notation on the steps as I go. But follow the steps through. When you get done with this piece of paper, you open up the next one, you find, since you left off with part 4, you find page 4, you find page 5, then 6, then 7, 8. Once you're done, once you get to the end, you're done with your model. Let's take a moment to talk about some tools, and I've got what I consider the basic set in front of me, starting with a pair of flush clippers or side clippers. These are primarily used to cut the parts out of the sheets. You can get the parts out by folding and twisting, though you run the risk of breaking something you didn't mean to break. A good pointed set of side cutters or flush cutters like this Play-Doh set that I've got here work really great for quickly getting the parts out so you can get on with your build. I have, of course, a small selection of tweezers. We've got a fairly basic set. This actually came with one of the older ICONX sets, and I've been using it for quite a while. But a good sturdy flat end tweezers can come in really handy for doing a great number of things. I also have a few pieces from a precision set of tweezers. If you need some precision tweezers, just search precision tweezers online. You'll be able to find something out there. These two are very similar. They have a very fine point, though I did grind the tip of these down to help me grab tabs. And then this is just kind of a flat set for getting in tight spaces. And then we have a couple of pieces left over from the Fascinations 3-piece set. I broke the clippers long ago, so I had to replace them. But we have long nose pliers and flat nose pliers. Really handy. These are handy for bending long parts, and these are handy for bending short sections right here. But this is the basic set. We'll do a great amount of things with just this set right here. You'll be able to build a lot of different models and do a lot of different things. When it comes to shaping curved, domed, or rounded kind of parts, I like to have some sort of tool to mold things around, and I've designed some 3D printable tools for use in that. You might see me using the video. I've got some cone shaping tools. I have a little block here for rounding stuff. I have larger cone shape combo tools, and even a little tool for shaping dome shapes. However, you can just look around the house and find parts, dowel rods, pencils, beads, paint brushes, pens, things like that can also be used to shape stuff as well. As for the 3D printed parts, I do sometimes print up extras and sell them on Etsy. Or you can just get the STL files if you have a 3D printer yourself and print these out. I'll try to include links to both the STL files and the Etsy store in the description down below. Alright, we've gone over the instructions briefly. We've talked a little bit about tools. I've got some basic tools here set out, metal sheets. I'm going to get things organized and we'll start building this model. The first thing for me to do was bend up these little half circles on the hood. and that did not go smoothly. They wanted to warp and twist instead of bend straight. In step 3, we begin to assemble the gun. It took me a bit to understand how to shape part 4. I'm not sure if that's because I've gotten a bit rusty after starting a new job and taking a break from building, or if the instructions are a little lacking. I forgot to fold down this front curved bit before adding the assembly on. The tabs do not line up with the slots. Looks like I folded this backwards. I started to just fold this rear bit in half, but there is a little section in the middle that separates the two halves a bit, so there are two 90-degree bends here. I need to be careful when bending all of the bits around the edge. It's easy to warp the part. I ended up bending the bottom of part 18 forward, thinking that was how it was supposed to be, but honestly, I'm not entirely sure. And that brings us to the end of the first part of the build video. It looks like it's going to be kind of a simple model, but it did get involved. I mean, this happens, and it is an ICONX model, so it's taking a little time to put it together. We're about halfway through. When we pick up in part 2, we're going to start building the wheels, and things are really going to start coming together. So I will see you in part 2. If it's not up already, it will be very soon.